Fujitsu's cloud journey globally started about 4 years ago, but in Australia, I suppose, it was around about 18 months ago when Fujitsu Australia decided that there was a market for cloud.
Fujitsu's cloud journey began long before I think the cloud term was coined. There wasn't a name to hang the vision on. There was always the vision, I want to consume IT when I need it and turn it off when I don't. But that understanding of that vision was a long way off or was seen in the consumer market.
And that started off a chain of events, consulting analysts, talking to customers, talking to people like Gartner, Ovum, Forrester, IDC, Frost & Sullivan, all the research houses, surveying CIOs. There was a global survey conducted of 1,500 CIOs and put all that together. And then there was this massive list of what people thought they wanted from the cloud.
What we had to do with the market, and indeed with our customers, was provide a vision of enterprise cloud, where you could bring your enterprise workloads into a data center and be delivered as a service in a flexible pay-per-use model. First and foremost, the services had to be in Australia, and they needed to be in Australian data centers managed by Australian staff. They had to be truly pay-per-use. The customer really wanted to ensure they were getting value for money and they were consuming cloud and they could effectively turn it off when they were finished with it. And more so now we're seeing that the strong need for self-service, the ability to the customer to control when they consume, when they turn it off, and when they draw down on more services.
And the third thing was the whole area of scalability and elasticity. Now, scalability means the ability to get more of the resources, en masse, as you need them over time. So go from 12 servers to 14 or 16. And elasticity is actually, well, I've got these 12 servers, I may use one today, tomorrow I may use 10, and the next day I may use 2. So one's how much you've got, the other's the ability to vary the use. Plus being able to access it via internet technologies, whether it's directly by internet or an intranet or a direct connection, were the key components that they said needed to be built into the cloud.
IT and CIOs wanted to be seen as innovators and delivering real value to business, not just a cost centre for the consumption of IT for their business.
A number of issues came up in discussions with CIOs, and these issues hit the press almost every day, especially recently with the failure of a number of high-profile public clouds and game clouds. The technologies that cloud uses use all the same security that people are currently using in managed services or outsourcing or offshoring. So I actually don't see a major issue with security itself. The key issue, though, is data residency. There's a very strong requirement in this country from privacy regulators and financial regulators to know where citizen data is and have control over it all the time. They're not saying you can't send it offshore in many cases. In some cases they are. In other cases they're saying, but if you do, make sure you know where it is and you have control of it.
So we had to find a way that we could deliver IT services in a true consumption-based model that could scale up and down, but give the customer or allow the customer to retain full control. And so by doing that, we developed infrastructure as a service platforms in our Australian data centres. Here in the Australian market, we've seen a lot of global cloud services introduced, and these are predominantly North American-based and some European-based services. But most companies had not invested, in particular the international organisations, had not invested in the Australian market. And outside Japan, Australia was the first market we invested in, and we deployed our global cloud platform in February 2010 into the Australian market. Some of the technical challenges we experienced during the building of our cloud platforms was the maturity of the technology. Was the technology ready for true shared, multi-tenanted, secure enterprise platforms? And we worked hard with our internal product capabilities and our partners to find the right technologies that could meet those needs of enterprise customers. But more so it was the commercial challenges and how we would take this to market on a commercial sense for our customers. We realised we needed legal, commercial, sales, we needed procurement teams, then we needed the whole band of technical teams, and then we needed our partners, and then we brought in customers as well, and we had a whole mix of people, and it was all aspects of that we needed to understand it, to develop it, and then in the end of the day deliver it.
There was also the whole issue of launching and communicating to our customers, because the market saw cloud one way and we developed a model that partly matched what the market wanted but also matched exactly what the customers wanted. So a major education process, marketing campaign had to happen. And as our key focus was the whole data sovereignty and privacy and the local cloud evolved, we developed a campaign that said, go domestic with Fujitsu. And it had a picture of an airline window with Australia and New Zealand in a cloud. And hence today, we're conducting this interview from a Qantas jet in the clouds.
We learned a lot out of our first customers, and those customers were more partners than customers. And they taught us about what pay-per-use really meant. And we thought we had pay-per-use, but they really drove what pay-per-use was in the end of the day. They wanted to turn on and off every aspect. So it took us a while to get to, I can turn the whole cloud off and I can turn it all back on.
Once a customer signed a contract with us, which then gave them access to the self-service portal so they could control their own cloud, we had to make sure that we could guarantee the service levels, the availability, the access to the portal, the kinds of services, the quality of the storage and so on. So much of the cloud was built on Fujitsu hardware and storage because we make that, but a large proportion of our cloud was built on technologies from partners for the portal, for the billing, for the security and all the things that go together. So we had to put back-to-back arrangements in place with each of these partners. And it wasn't as simple as going, oh, okay, you guarantee X amount of uptime. It was them also having arrangements with their partners to help them deliver their services. And as the partners expanded, the contractual arrangements became a key challenge. And over a period of time, we worked with our partners, they worked with us. Our customers helped us understand how they wanted things. And this three-way arrangement has actually helped us develop an extremely reliable, robust, enterprise-grade cloud that all the partners are part of delivering. After launching the cloud and going live, we discovered that the needs of clients weren't just around the areas of test and development, which was one of the original propositions for developing the cloud. In fact, for every client that we spoke to about cloud, there seemed to be a different reason.
We're now moving production workloads and we're now moving core ERP systems into the cloud. So as our capabilities matured, our customers' drive for cloud has matured as well.
For example, we have a major organisation in New Zealand called Frucor. They're a distributor of beverages. In summer, sales go through the roof. They need a lot of processing power. In winter, they don't sell as much. And they decided to move their whole SAP production environment into Fujitsu Australia Cloud, managed from New Zealand. So that was a true production environment with the need for scalability. It will be some time before everyone moves everything into the cloud, but it will happen. But it won't happen overnight. People will take applications for which they have a special need because they have a requirement for scalability and access to resources, or some may say, oh, I need to put disaster recovery in the cloud, or I need to archive. And so there'll be point solutions created, and as people develop more trust and it evolves and the community as a whole gets used to things being in the cloud, it will evolve over a period of time. Fujitsu started the cloud journey with infrastructure as a service, and that's natural, being a large manufacturer of hardware and storage and having been in the data center business for many decades. But that's not where it stops. The next level, and we're already providing services here, is in the application space. An example might be email or messaging as a service. The level after that is a complete end-to-end business process, like applying for a mortgage online and having everything done through the cloud rather than a lot of individual applications in between. And the fourth one is content as a service. We're talking about being able to link a number of different clouds and applications and databases that weren't designed to work together and providing a portal for an individual or a customer to actually access that.
This is only the beginning for Fujitsu's cloud services. Without a doubt, this is the early stages of cloud. The IT industry will completely move to cloud, and the consumption of IT on a pay-per-use agile model. There is no doubt that'll happen, and I think that'll happen a lot quicker than most realise.